Okay, guys, we are wrapping up week 5 and getting ready to start week 6. So a couple of comments about week 5. So in chapter 9, you guys did a great conversation around social networks. I'm incredibly grateful for how thoughtful you were in that conversation. There were comments about the need to think about non-traditional social networks, and that's incredibly important, right? Especially when doing work with the queer community. There was also comments about the need to value both quantitative and qualitative data and to integrate the two to get a better understanding. So I just want to echo the importance of both of those comments. In chapter 10, Cameron and Alexa reminded us that we need to make sure that we don't make assumptions about the participants with whom we work. And I think that's incredibly valuable too. And incredibly tough to do, right? From the moment we pose a research question all the way through setting up the variables that we're going to measure or the questions we're going to ask if we're doing qual, through the analytic approach we use and the variables we include in our models or exclude, and then the way in which we disseminate our work and discuss it in manuscripts or conference presentations are all filled with bias, and we make assumptions throughout. And so I think it's really helpful to be reminded of that, and all the more reason to make sure that we approach our work with humility and that we listen to members of community advisory boards who can speak truth to power, if you will, especially since those of us who are academics are often considered to be in a privileged place in society, right? So thinking about surrounding yourself with community who will tell you that you need to make a course correction is incredibly valuable. And if you find those people, hold them close, because they're going to make you a better researcher or practitioner. A quick shout out to Ricardo. Ricardo, thank you for your vulnerability this week and just talking about your experience on prep. For me, that speaks volumes to the culture we're creating in this online class. You know, there's limits to an online class. There's only so much we can do to keep it asynchronous. But I've been impressed by y'all's conversations and the vulnerability that people have shared their experiences as they go through the material. So thank you for that. Please keep doing it. This coming week, we have 2 chapters, 11 and 12, so 4 posts for the week. We average 2 a chapter, so I calculate that. Chapter 11's voice thread is long, so let me apologize in advance and ask for a bit of indulgence. For me, chapter 11 is the meatiest chapter in the entire book that we're reading together, and I think it's incredibly valuable information in that chapter. So humor me a little bit as you go through it, and I look forward to seeing you on the Canvas boards as we discuss it. If you have not yet signed up for your week through weeks 8 through 12, please do so. If all your group members have signed up, but there's still an open week, if someone would step up and just agree to do it twice, or partner with someone else in your group and do it together so that we have all weeks filled, I would be grateful. As you complete your voice thread and get your materials together, please send it to me so that I can start getting that information uploaded into Canvas so that the class continues to run smoothly during those last few weeks. As you send it to me in an email, make sure that you put your group number and the week you're facilitating in there so that I can pull that out and assign it correctly. And then in VoiceThread, make sure you give me the right to edit. That way I can upload it and link it to an assignment so that people can get credit in the gradebook. Lastly, I'm going to flip back up to chapter 10. Julia said something that I think is important in chapter 10 that's transferable to weeks 8 through 12. And that is this. Julia commented on the fact that had chapter 10 been written in light of prep and ART, that the tone of the chapter would have likely been very different. And I think she's right. And it illustrates the larger point that she made, and I'm reinforcing as we move into this next phase of the course where you guys are picking journal articles and critiquing them. It's important to remember that when something's written, it's locked in time. And so what may have been true when that article was written may not be as true now. And so when we read things, we need to think about what's transferable to the current context and population and health concern that we care about, and what needs to be recognized as an artifact of the past that perhaps is less transferable. It's part of the reason I asked you to pick articles within the last 5 years, because SGM health research is expanding pretty quick. So keep that in mind as you prepare your presentations and do your critiques. And as always, if you have any questions about that work as you prepare to do it, please reach out. Thanks, guys. See you on Canvas.